So this is Bosnia-Herzegovina, and this is the bridge Mostar, very famous. This is a woman dressed in a traditional dress, and she's from Sarajevo. But this is in the 1900s. So this article is about Bosnia and the neighbors. This is Turkey. This is Russia. And here we have all the different. This is Greece. This is Macedonia, Albania, Montenegro, Serbia, Bulgaria, Moldova, Montenegro. I said Bosnia-Herzegovina. This is Austria. These. I'm just doing this because this is a historical. This is Italy. Historical map of the area. I'm doing this because in 1992-93 there was a war here in this, especially in the Bosnia-Herzegovina. People used to walk from Sarajevo and come to Italy, on foot. That was in 1992, 93, 94, 95. The Serbians had organized rape camps here in Bosnia in order to get Muslim women pregnant with their beautiful blonde nests, sperms. The man who did this, who thought of this is another picture of the Mostar Bridge, was this man here. This man was organizing rape camps in order to impregnate women. This is about the Srebrenica. And you see 8,000 young men were brought to their death in this area. And the UN soldiers didn't do anything. They were in with the powers. All these young people were waiting for America to help because nobody else was helping them. And of course, there was Bill Clinton at that time and Monica Lewinsky scandal. And so Bill Clinton, poor thing, he would have done something if there wasn't a scandal, but they got him, and basically what they did was they made a big hullabaloo out of nothing. Because he was a beautiful man, and he had an affair. Okay, so what? But 8,000 people had to die because they wouldn't allow him to, intervene and save them. So this was in Europe, 1993, 94, 95. I'm doing this because I felt a lot for the women who were, it wasn't like a war. Second World War, Japan, Korea, where the Japanese went into Korea and that sort of thing, and they did the same kind of things, but that was a real big war. This wasn't a real big war. This was neighbors killing neighbors. This was a small. You see, from the map you can see that they're very close to each other, and they even under Tito, the general who. Was very accepting of, kept a balance between all of these people. where is the picture of General Tito? I'm looking for that. You know, these. This is a General Tito. He was a leader who managed to keep this area together and called it Yugoslavia. This area was called Yugoslavia, and everybody lived together, you know, in peace. It was only because of that the man I showed you was called Karadic, and his group of people. They actually organized these camps. This is another picture of General Tito. So he was very much loved by the people, and everybody, you know, whether Serb, Bosnian, or Slovak, they were all they were all following him, and he was keeping it all together. So, you know, this is remembering those women who got raped. They even did it to nuns, and you know, some people committed suicide because they were pregnant and they didn't want the baby, and so, you know, this sort of thing happens in all wars, but here it was very special. It was something like the Jewish Holocaust. And in fact, the only people who were really interested and worried about the whole thing were the Jews, you know, who didn't want this sort of thing to happen again. So this here is the powers who were in control before the war, First World War, Second World War. These were the Austrian Empire and the Ottoman Empire. You know, they controlled the whole area. So while they were there, you know, there was nothing happening. This is a Dubrovnik, pearl of the Adriatic. This is Turkish miniature. As you see, it's called the bastion of the Habsburger, because the Austrians and the Turks were controlling the whole area, and it was okay, you know, and they kept a kind of a balance. These are instead the Roma. The Roma are the gypsies who were abundant in this area. This is different peoples who had in their traditional dress. Tract. So this one here is Schwaben. In Romania, there are German-speaking people, and this is about them. So this is about Dracula. You know, the myth of Dracula came from Romania, and this is a medieval picture, saying, you know, about the Dracula myth. This instead is a Sikandar. This is an Albanian hero who was the only one who stood up against the Turks, but you know, he was also you know, collaborating with the powers. So, you know, this is what happened to the mosques during the war. This is Milosevic, who was Karadic. The planning of the rape camps came about under his reign, and he was taken in by the UN. But you know, it was all about Serbian ego trip about 1389, because in 1389 Serbia was conquered by the Turks, and so in the 1990s somebody in Serbia thought that, well, you know, we could we could get, onto the Muslims now and, do something like, do something to the Muslims of Bosnia Herzegovina and finish that off. I don't know what's happening in Sarajevo today, but I've heard that it's not a good place for. It's the only good place actually. It's the only good place for Muslims to be, and the other villages and things are not very good to live in. This here is a picture from the 1900s, if you believe it. It's from Bosnian folklore, the dresses, and they are dancing. So in the 1900s, there was no problem here with the Croats and the Serbs and the Bosnians living peacefully together. Here is about a Bulgarian king and a Tsar called Simon. And this is also about Bulgaria. So, you see, this is all about the Balkans, which is such a mysterious land. You know, we don't understand their language. They had the Stasi for many years, so they are much into security issues and now are controlling, together with the other Slavs, our future, basically, which is all dependent on the, surveillance people. But I don't know what it's going to be like when the AI get to be the surveillance. So I really felt very badly about what happened in Bosnia, and I'm sorry for what happened there with the women being used as instruments. Their honor was the main thing that the people like to use against the menfolk. But today everything's good. They're all under surveillance. All of these people, and the winners of the game are those who are into surveillance today. Good for them. I just hope that things like that won't happen again, as in